Hi, my name is Monica Alford. I am the founder and CEO of Wildside Media, and I am back in Legacy Sessions today speaking to the second group of RAMMYS 2024 RAMMYS finalists. And I would love if each of you could introduce yourselves, what restaurant or restaurant group you're a part of, how long you've been a part with that restaurant or restaurant group, and what you were nominated for.
My name is Victoria Gradia. I'm with KNEAD Hospitality and Design. I just celebrated my 7-year anniversary with the company. And I've been nominated for Manager of the Year.
Hi, I'm Michael Wyatt with Knightsbridge Restaurant Group, our restaurant Annabelle in Colorama. And I started with the restaurant back about 12 years ago at Oval Room, and then opened Bibiana, and then our restaurant opened January 17th of 2020, and I've been there since then.
Wonderful. Well, this is like the shameless plug part of the interview where, I mean, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to sing your own praises a little bit on why you think you were nominated this year.
One of the biggest pieces of being a manager in management is leadership, and being able to work with an incredible amount of people that all come from different backgrounds and have different stories, and getting creative in the ways that we make them move. We have core values that really make our company amazing, and they're core values that represent not only who we are as a restaurant, but who we are as people. So really focusing on those and the leadership and helping other people be the best versions of themselves. We rise by lifting other people, and I'm honored to be here.
Very well said. Honored to have you.
And I was actually nominated by a waitress, a former waitress at our restaurant, and she's now with KNEAD Hospitality. And when I texted her this morning that Victoria was going to be here, she said, very short text, she said, Victoria is elevated, involved, and brilliant.
Wow.
So that was from Andrea, by the way.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Our pleasure. Yeah, at our restaurant, you know, we get a lot of high rollers and kind of politicos, and it's a fun place. So we get to kind of take care of them at a high level and while having fun. So why did I get nominated? Mainly just because we do a great job of taking care of these people, but then even more so for me, there's a lot of bussers, a lot of waiters who go through challenges all during the course of the year. For instance, during the pandemic, you know, we were having issues with the Department of Employment Services. So the nice thing about being here long enough is, like, you know how to email the mayor's office, and then the city council, and then the people who are higher up at the Department of Employment Services. And so it's occasionally, you know, there's been a few times where I've been able to get thousands of dollars for people or deal with their landlord problems, whatever, immigration issues. So nice thing about a restaurant is you kind of have to do a little bit of everything. And so it's when you're in the middle of it, that's part of it. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it becomes like family, right?
It sure does. It really does.
Yeah, I say that a lot, you know, but being in media, and I work with a lot of hospitality, but also artists, and I think it's all the creative community. And I feel like it's a labor of love, and I feel like you just become family in all these cases. So that's wonderful. I'd like to ask a little bit about how long you've been in the DC area, and why, aside from loving where you currently are, clearly, and being wonderful at your respective jobs, why DC feels like an important place to be right now, in terms of being, you know, in the hospitality industry, and where you think we're headed, our foodie map, you know, potential.
I think we've, you know, as DC, we've done a great job of laying a great culinary landscape for our talent. The world is currently always evolving, and people, you know, traditionally speaking, would go out to eat. They're getting food, they're getting beverage, they're looking for good service, but people are looking for more of that now, and they're looking for an experience, and they're looking for an opportunity to share a memory with their family. You know, so when we have people that come out to eat in our restaurants, it's about giving them that memory to take with them. They may not always remember what they ate, they may not always remember what they drank, but giving them an opportunity to really feel a great experience. And that's what I think the DC hospitality industry is really moving towards.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, when I got my start in DC, it was back probably in the 90s, and Marion Barry was mayor, and there were not a lot of restaurants. Shoretown Waterfront was probably like the big restaurant scene, but there was no Arena, there was no Southwest Wharf, and it was really changed. Like a craft cocktail would be like a Long Island iced tea. And so things have really changed. It used to be a steakhouse town, and now there are just so many fun individual restaurants. We've had great ones over the years. There's been the Comey's and the Citronelles and the City Zens. And I love what your restaurant group is doing as well, and you've really kind of built out the Wharf and and all the new Succotash locations. But it's just a fun place to be a part of. We're really kind of the center of the political universe, and it's you can kind of feel it in the air, and it's a really charged up election year, and so it's a great place to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one more question for you. I feel like, things are changing in DC. Obviously, anyone who doesn't live here still views us as very political, right? And like or thinks of the Hill. But when those of us here, there's so much more. Like that's an important part, but there's so much more. So what do you do to, like, you're at a restaurant that like you said, you get a lot of bigwigs that come in, it's kind of like the power lunch that like it's a unique and very DC kind of vibe to have those power players that are from, political landscape. But what do you do to breathe new life into that? Because I feel like it's a mainstay, and it's an important one, but I'm guessing, as you mentioned, you don't want to serve Long Island iced teas. I'm sure you don't. You know what I mean? You have craft cocktails. So how do you stay with the times, but like keep that kind of linchpin of DC hospitality?
Yeah, absolutely. So some people, they love the political part of it and they just want even more of it. Some people, they're kind of tired of watching it on TV, so they just want to be done. And so you try to give people what they're looking for. But we used to both work for Clyde's Restaurant Group, I believe, at one point.
Yes.
And I worked at 1789, so sometimes you have a table at lunch. I had these 3 ladies. They were having a power lunch, and they were all teachers at Georgetown. Well, one of them was Madeleine Albright, Secretary of State. One of them was Hillary Clinton. The other one was Janet Yellen. So it's like, those are the kind of, tables you might have that make for a fun experience, both for us, but also it's like sometimes they just want lunch. Maybe they want to talk politics. Maybe they just want to have girl talk or guy talk, whatever it is. So that's what we try to do. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite experience, like somebody who came in that you did your own little like fan, like, or you got excited or?
It happens quite a bit. We tried, they say like treat celebrities like they're normal people and normal people like they're celebrities. And so you try to do that. We've had several interactions with Harrison Ford over the years. That's been some fun ones. In Los Angeles, I kind of met Michael Jackson, Madonna, so that was fun. But here it's usually the politicians. I mean, there was one day when I had Madeleine Albright at one table and MC Hammer at another table. So it's just like it's
what
like
a juxtaposition. I love that.
Yeah, what a great experience to have. So,
yeah, that's amazing. That's great. What year was that?
That was a while ago. That was back when she was still Secretary of State. So that was at E. Riki Restaurant. That used to be a very hot place. And at the same time, then we'd have Vernon Jordan in the back room, and he was Bill Clinton's right-hand man. Right. And so every once in a while, you pass by the table, and he's like, and so Bill looked at North Korean leader, and he's like, this is what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to be. And it's like, you're like, wow, I just, heard like a really fun story about the White House.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, back to KNEAD. Tell me about what restaurant you're most excited about right now. Do you think is doing the coolest stuff, or like, that you're just I know you're proud of all of them.
I am proud of all of them. Mi Vida is always a great one to talk about, delicious Mexican food. Very fun. Yes, very fun environment. Excellent cocktails. Gatsby, which is our restaurant located right by Nationals Park. It's our reimagined diner. They do great spin-offs of classic dishes, and it's a really incredible environment to be in. Cool.
All right. Well, I mean, the only other question I have for each of you is what you do in DC or outside of DC when you're not working. And actually, interestingly enough, you're the second interview out of 5 that I'm doing for the 2024 RAMMYS. And the first group who just came in, literally all their answers were about food. Or 2 of them were about food. The third was about getting out of town. So it can be whatever you want it to be. But when you're not on, which I'm guessing you are a lot, what do you like to do in or out of the city?
I spend time with my family. I have an amazing husband and 2 wonderful children. They know all about KNEAD. They actually know our core values because I use them on them. Slow Way is the Fast Way has been a great one for the children. Yeah. But I spend time with them, and we often frequent our restaurants in DC because we enjoy the food and we enjoy the experience.
And I guess in this area, I love going to Deep Creek Lake and water skiing, and there's some great water rafting up there. Occasionally we get to go out trips to Hawaii and so forth. Those are always a blast. And then restaurant-wise, we do trips to Italy. This is like research and development that we do, and so we have to go to a lot of restaurants, and then they have these big wine fairs, and so we have to, for the sake of the restaurant and our guests, we have to do a lot of wine tastings.
Taking one for the team.
That's right.
I love that R&D.
That's
great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for being here. I'm excited to see you
Thank you.
both next weekend. I can't believe it's a week away.
Yes.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.